I've got Nathan Elliott here. It's Monday, the day after the end of Road Nats, and what a weekend! And actually, what a 5 days! Just an incredible spectacle of cycling, and the fact that we as a sport could pull that off, and something we should be very proud of. And it's also the week leading into the Melbourne to Warrnambool, which is a huge event, the second oldest one-day race in the world. So there isn't a better person really to speak about the week gone by and the week coming up than our own Nathan Elliott. G'day, Nathan.
How's it going?
Yeah, mate, I'm all right. This has taken a while, actually. We've threatened to have this interview for some time. But it's probably it's good finally, yeah. And I probably the best timing too. Sometimes these things need to wait.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, probably someone higher up has organised this to happen this week. So, firstly, mate, there's a lot of people who don't know you, believe it or not, and that's because we've got an audience of members, new members, people who have either joined the club recently or because of COVID, we've got many more people riding bikes. So we've got the cycling community, but we've got a growing number of people in that community. So just a quick little overview of your career. We've had every win. There's been 3 that have been great. That you're the first person, the only person who won back-to-back Melbourne to Warrnambool, and as a Gerrymondo, I'm very proud of that. That's an incredible effort, 2016 and 17. So we are interviewing the only person to win a back-to-back Warrny, massive. And 2018 Grafton and Inverell, which for the club is a really important race as well, because Alan Grindle, one of our club legends, who was up on the hill yesterday at Road Nats, walked all the way up just to say hello. He won it in 1960, the same year he represented Australia in the Olympics. So that's 3 pretty awesome wins, mate. You still feel great about those?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I'm very proud of those races. And I think in terms of, I love the Grafton and Warrny. I think, in terms of being from Melbourne or just even across the world, like everyone knows about that race, and it's such an epic race. So, to have won it twice is something I'm very proud of, and I'm sure, I'll remember it forever.
Hey, your pathway was unique, and we talk about pathways a lot. In fact, at Brunswick, we try not to use the word pathway, to be honest, because that suggests something's linear. And you're a great example of why it's not linear. You did come up through the junior ranks. You took a while to take up cycling. When did it all start for you, and what was your first reason for taking up the bike?
So I took up cycling pretty late. I started when I was second year under 19. So that is pretty late for a cyclist. So I was playing footy a fair bit, pretty seriously, but then I kind of, Dad had just like an old steel road bike. He wasn't a cyclist or anything, just used it to keep fit. And I'd always mountain bikes and all that sort of stuff for fun quite a bit, and just thought, this bike looks cool for something different, and just started riding it randomly, really. And then thought, it's just pretty fun. Started riding it more, started getting into watching the tour on TV as you do, and then it just kind of grew slowly from there. Thought it'd be nice to get like a better kind of bike, so I bought myself a cheap white road bike, and looked into it'd be good to start racing, and then it just, it's a very addictive sport, so it just kind of spiraled from there, really.
How'd you find the club? How'd you find Brunswick? Because you're not from Brunswick.
Yeah, so I guess I know quite a few of the guys from Brunswick just when I started racing Northern Combine, like Cam and Dave and all those sorts of guys. But I didn't really, because I started so late, I wasn't involved in the junior sessions at the track and all that sort of stuff. And I think, I don't even know, to be honest. I think I just Googled clubs around the area and found it, I guess. There's no real reason. I just researched a bit, and everyone said that was quite a good club for juniors. So just from there, basically.
Quite a good club for juniors when you're already not a junior anymore. It's good for you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So you played footy. You're tall enough, and you're obviously fit enough. What position did you play in footy? What was your?
I played usually centre half forward. So it was real into my footy, but I think I love footy, and in hindsight, I was decent, but I never really had the drive that I wanted to play AFL, or I do look back and wish I took it a bit more seriously. But I think when I was playing under 19s, we were in a team that we just like absolutely dominated, undefeated, won everything, and I kind of just like got bored of it. Like I really enjoyed the challenge, like when I was a junior, of like being the underdog and all that sort of thing. So I think I just got gradually bored of footy and then just took up cycling.
Did you play with anyone that has made it?
Let me try and think. I played, Trent Cotchin went to my school, so I played school footy with him.
He's now referred to as 3-time Richmond Premiership captain, Trent Cotchin, by the way.
Yes, I played it. Yeah, that's it. Played a fair bit of junior footy against him as well. I'm trying to think. There was a couple of others like in the juniors I played against, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But he was probably the best.
And your footy team that you barracked for was the Kangaroos?
I go for the Kangas, yeah. So they were a good team growing up to barrack for. As you probably know, in the 90s they were quite good, but yeah, not so much now.
I remember. But now when they play, you can go out on a long ride, so at least you don't have to.
Yeah, that's it.
Nathan, you spent time, because your pathway is somewhat unique, as I mentioned before, and interesting how you took it up. And I do wonder if you still have that steel bike, by the way. You still got Dad's bike.
I think so, actually. I'm not 100% sure. I think we do, yeah.
Don't get rid of them, mate. Don't make the same mistake a lot of us did.
Yeah.
Now we all want them back, and we buy them back for twice as much.
I know, they're very trendy at the moment, aren't
they? Yeah. What I was getting at before I diverted myself was your pathway being reasonably unique, etc. You had to fend for yourself a fair bit and ask questions and try and further your racing career. A real interesting part of your early career was time spent in the US. Do you want to just cover that for us? How that happened, the various stints, and just the experience in general.
Yeah. So I guess I know. Everyone always wants to go to Europe, and I was keen on that. But no, I just had some fascination with wanting to race in the States for some reason. In hindsight, it probably didn't suit me ideally as a rider, but I just thought it would be cool. I'd never been to the States, all the races over there, like Tour of California, Utah, and all that sort of stuff. I don't know, it just attracted me to it, basically. And so I was just emailed all the teams I could find on the internet, and a Canadian Conti team pretty much was like, yeah, sure, I'll get you over here and we'll put you on. And yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. Spent pretty much a whole year there racing all their kind of key races, and travelled a few miles in the van, just driving across the country pretty much. So it was an incredible experience. Met quite a few good friends, and stayed with a lot of host families, which is the way they do it over there. You kind of, at a race, the team doesn't really like get their own accommodation. The race provides all host families, and you stay with the family, which is a pretty cool way to do it. And also spent quite a bit of time in Boulder, just through some people I knew. Then went back there the following year for a few months, just for training and something to do. And there was a gap in the season here as well.
That's a pretty awesome experience. What's your favourite part of the US?
Probably Colorado. Yeah, that was very cool. And also, we have a good family. Mum and Dad have a good family friend that lives in LA, so I stayed there for a few weeks with her and trained. And just the riding there blew me away. Like in all the kind of Santa Monica Mountains and Malibu, and even just the riding in the States, like through downtown LA and everything, like just blew me away how courteous all the drivers and stuff there were compared to here, which is pretty interesting.
It is interesting because a lot of people do compare Australia to the US in many ways, and the use of the motor vehicle is often referred to, when we're talking about the two countries. And I actually see very few incidents that are reported on social media, for example, in the US. I see more in the UK and certainly here. What do you think makes it that way, that they're courteous? Is it because they've got more respect for cyclists, or they're just not in a hurry because the traffic's always bad?
Yeah, I think they're just not in a hurry because the traffic's bad. And I think there's just a way more outdoor, I think, sporting culture. Like everyone's always going for hikes and riding and like rock climbing and all that sorts of thing. I don't know if that has something to do with it. And obviously, like, I don't know, you can carry guns there, so I might have a gun in my back pocket. I don't know that, so they probably don't want to pick a fight with strangers or something. But I don't know, yeah, it's just a cultural thing, I think.
So I wonder if they make bike jerseys with big enough to fit a gun, a handgun. So this pathway is very interesting. This road, like you talk about hindsight, we've all got that, but it seems to me that helped make you who you are, because you went on and had some great success. You're still a very young man, really, but you've had some great wins that I mentioned at the start. So the 2016 Warrny, I don't need to know the whole race, because there's already a couple of good podcasts about that, because you do get into detail with some, and I will share those afterwards. And I think it's really interesting because it is a really tough race. But your 2016 win, how did that come about? When did you think you could win it? Like, was it on the line at the start, or was it only towards the end you go, shit, I can win this thing?
Yeah, so I had quite a few good results that year, starting with Grafton was the race that really attracted me, and I just really loved that race and really wanted to win that. And I'd been trying for a year or two before that, and I was second earlier in the year, which was pretty I just really wanted to win that. So I kind of used that as a bit of fuel for the rest of the year, and had quite a few good podiums, like in NRS and that sort of stuff, but could never just like chip off that win. I spent a bit of time, a few months in Boulder that year, Colorado, just because there was a gap in the season year training at altitude. I then went and did a tour of Qinghai Lake in China, which is a pretty epic race for those that haven't heard. It's pretty much, I think it's like the fourth Grand Tour, people call it, like 2 weeks. And the average altitude is around 3,000 meters above sea level. So yeah, people either do that race and end up in a hole and quit the sport, or come back flying. And I was lucky to come back, in pretty good form. But as I said, I just had quite a few good results that year, but like just couldn't get that win. And then I thought, but I was always had good quad endurance, and the longer races suited me. So I thought I might as well do the Warrny. I think I might be able to win that if everything goes all right. And then, I'll. Do you want me to go into further detail?
No, that's fine. I think it's pretty obvious you like to hurt yourself, right? Because long races do that to you. So one I'm particularly interested in is 2017, because earlier, before the race, you had a fall in Adelaide training for TDU. How bad was that, and what was the recovery process like to get you back up on the line to win?
Yeah, so after that, the year that I won prior, I ended up joining ISOA Sports Swiss Wellness, which was the biggest team in Oceania. And I got hit by a car head on in Adelaide, which wasn't ideal. Definitely could have died probably in hindsight. But I got a pretty bad brain injury and just shattered like my whole left arm pretty much, and had to have like 6 pins put in it. So that was the main recovery, and also my head I still got a few issues there with that, but so I planned to go over, the team had a stint in Europe mid-year, so I was pretty determined, because I'd never raced in Europe, obviously wanted to try and get over there for that, but I had to have a few months off the bike, recovering from the accident, and then missed a few big races in Asia that I was meant to do, which is annoying, but managed to somehow, I just got back on the bike as soon as I could, like with the pin still in my arm, just like made a cast and just got back out there, and then somehow got fit enough to go over to Europe, I guess, and got through a few of the races there, did some okay rides, nothing special, which is to be expected. I was pretty happy just to make it over there, and it was a great experience. Then I don't know, I think the Warrny just felt like kind of in the right time. I got back from Europe, and then we did a few NRX races, started to get some form. I don't know, I was just super, had a bit of a rough year as well, just not getting as many races as I would have liked and stuff. And then, I was just really determined, just to show everyone what I could do, I think. And then I went over to tour of China with the team. We had quite a good sprinter, Scott Sunderland. So that was a really good race. And I think, it was a really good, hard, high speed race. And I came back from that, and the Warrny was a couple of weeks later, and I just managed to, I don't know, everything kind of just fell into place at the right time. And I was did a few rides before the Warrny and thought I knew I was flying basically and went in pretty confident. And then
sorry, kick on.
No, I was going to say I went in pretty confident, but I knew the race to suit me had to be pretty hard. Like the year before when I won, it was from a strong break and it was like 40k an hour crosswinds the whole race. But then this edition of the Warrny was literally like, from a weather perspective, it was a perfect day, like low 20s, not a breath of wind and sunny. So that kind of dampened my hopes quite a bit.
But you got there, and were you in a break, then got caught, then went away again? Is that how that worked in the second one?
Yeah, so I knew we obviously had quite a strong team. We had Michael Freeberg in the team who later went on to win Roadnat, so we kind of were happy to ride for him if it was a sprint. So I knew like for me to win, I had to be in the early break. So I got in the early break. Yeah, I think it wasn't quite strong enough, or didn't have as enough guys, and we got caught. I think at the 220k mark. I kind of was very frustrated because I knew I was going well, but felt like I hadn't really had the chance to open up the throttle, I guess, and thought my day was done. So I kind of just resigned my fact to like, I'm just going to help all my teammates and give Freebs an awesome lead out at the end, and hopefully he can get up for the win. Just spent the next 50Ks helping teammates close down gaps and bridge across the moves. Then in the back of my mind, I thought like I still feel pretty good, and if it's all together at like the old Speedway hill, which is about 7k to go, which is a famous hill, I just thought I'm just going to have a crack there and see what happens. But as it had it, Kunda Court, who was at races for Trek, beat me to it, and he attacked up there, so I just followed him, and then managed to drop the guys there in a bit of a crosswind bit, and he ended up just riding away solo to the win, which is quite nice.
What a way to win! And that we've got a great photo of that in the club rooms that you kindly gave us, and it's just so special when you can do that. That's the way every bike rider wants to win a race, right?
Yeah.
Right away. And then just before we get into your next part of your life, which is coaching and obviously work, that Grafton to Inverell, after having come second, to win it in the closest of margins, right? What did that feel like? Was that because you said that's the one you want to win?
Really? Yeah, like I think even though the two Warrnys is obviously awesome, but I think like if I never won Grafton, I definitely wouldn't have been satisfied with my cycling career stopping. So I think that I really, really wanted that. I think it ended up coming down to myself and Raf Feinstein, who funnily enough ended up my teammate. And he was, I think most people would have tipped him to be the quicker of us, but I knew I've got quite a good sprint at the end of anything over 200k, and I just, definitely, I think having come second so many times allowed me to play it a lot cooler, because I thought I'm going to win this or get caught, and I'm not coming second. So that kind of spurred me on, allowed me to force his hand a bit, which was nice. And to get that win was something I've been working for the last few years. So it was very, very sweet.
A really important bike race too. That's over the years, there's been question marks about whether it can run, and a bit like the Warrny, there's always complications around it. Had to go from a handicap to a scratch race, etc. But we've got to work really hard in this sport to keep those races alive, because they're just truly iconic, and the stories that come out of them, like what you've just said, it just make for a rich history. And as you get older, those stories will get even better, right?
Yeah, that's it. I think those races, because they're so long and so epic, I think all the stories everyone passes around and that sort of stuff makes them such good races, and they'll be in history forever, which is nice. Yeah,
you could make a movie about every one of those races for sure. There's a story behind all of them. So with Roadnats just having finished, obviously you've raced Roadnats there, and you know that course quite well, even before and after the changes. I did the Fondo on Saturday. It was a bit of fun with Cam on the corner, just offering me pizzas and everything on the way. Obviously, far less serious for people like me than has been for people like you. but the knowledge of the course and having done it yourself now as a coach, and you're still very young, to not to be a coach, but to not be racing at that level anymore and coaching. I think it's a wonderful transition, and you're giving a lot back to the sport. You had how many athletes that you coach competing over the week?
I think I might have had, let's go with like 7 or 8, maybe. I think I had a few, 2 in the under 23 in the under 23s, and then a few of the under 19s, and also had a under 19 female as well. So maybe like 8 or something. Let's go.
Well, that says a lot about you, because obviously you're doing something right? And is it the experience you've had with adversity, the way you entered the sport, etc., the way you've travelled, has all of that combined, do you think, to make you a person that becomes quite relatable to a young person, because you're not old yourself? Is that one of the unique characteristics that you can bring to coaching?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I've obviously cycled whilst I was at school and uni, and managed to balance the two, which is teaches you important time management skills. Then just traveling and I guess having the experience racing, whether it was in Oz or around Europe and stuff. It just kind of gives you experience, and you learn a lot looking back in hindsight. I think it's easy to relate when they're coming up, especially the juniors, when they're feeling a certain way or you're going through something. It's easy, like I can say, like, I've been there, done that, like, you need to do this, or just don't worry, that sort of thing. So, I definitely think I can relate, which is good. Got a vast array of experience, which hopefully I can pass on a thing or two to them.
And who are the coaches that have passed on a thing or two to you? Because it works that way down, doesn't it?
Yeah. So my first coach was actually Kim Howard, who's Lee Howard's mum, and then had Greg Henderson, who rode for quite a few good teams and was on Greg Rifle's lead out man. So he's got quite a few good experiences from like Team Mobile, HTC High Road, Team Sky. So has some good training knowledge from pretty much all the best teams in the world. And then Mark Fenner coached me while I was riding for ISOA, who's quite a well-renowned coach. Then have a few mates as well, like Mark O'Brien, who's a coach, and kind of just sort of picked bits and pieces from all of those, and then coached myself as well for the last couple of years. So I thought I could kind of get a good balance and mixture of everything that I've learned. So kind of I think that's what I'm using for my going forward experience.
It's working. So what was your highlight of Road Nats? And if you don't have to pick one, because I know you coach a few, so you might group it. What were the highlights for you personally?
Definitely a bit biased, and I'd have to say Carter Turnbull winning the under 23 time trial and Tom Benson winning the under 23 road race was pretty special. And Carter and Rudy, Coach Carter, but Rudy's also from our team, backed that up with second and third. It was an amazing ride. I think Carter came third last year, and I've been doing quite a bit of work with the time trial. He's such a nice, awesome kid, and like the perfect trainer. Just working on trying to get him to be a bit more confident, stuff like that. I think I remember ringing him up a couple of weeks before the TT. Right, I'm gotta give Carter a big G up here, because he's often quietly spoken. I rang him up. I was like, "You keen, mate?" And he's like, "Yep, I'm going to smash Patty's course record." I was like, "All right," and he did it. So that was very cool to see. And then Tom, you guys might have read a bit, but he's just the number one, like, ultimate team man. Like, he's always the one on our team, right in the front, doing the work for the boys, all that sort of stuff. I think Pat might have mentioned he was pretty much the last rider picked in the team almost, like, for this year. Last year he had an incredible ride. I think he went into the race thinking like he's quite a big guy and not known as a climber. He went into the race like pretty unsure of how he, like, not confident at all of how he would go. I ended up in the EB and doing an incredible ride, like being the strongest out of all the guys there, then also dropping back to bring up teammates to the front. So that was a big confidence booster, showing him that he could do well around there. And then this is a bit of a detailed story, but I'll keep going. And then last year he had quite a few issues with like his knee and all that sort of stuff, and it got to a point where I just wasn't getting any better, and he's like, right, I'm gonna give this one more crack, or I'm just gonna give up cycling pretty much. But he managed to get it right, and use the time that he had out to work on other things. Like lost a couple of kilos, which comes with growing and stuff anyway, and came back better than ever pretty much. And he had a great ride in the time trial, coming fifth, but he wanted more and was quite disappointed. So just trying to get him to use that as motivation for the road race, and knew he was absolutely flying. And after his ride last year, just went in with that fire in the belly, and it was awesome to see him pull it off. And it wasn't just like a lucky land in the EB, and the EB stays away. Like he rode away from the breakaway, and the peloton couldn't catch him. So it was pretty incredible. And then those were the two highlights. But then yesterday as well, the way that the team rode in the elite road race, like I think we had Mitchell on the ropes quite a bit there and deserved to win. But second is still an incredible result. So to be part of that as well was awesome.
Yeah, yesterday was unreal to see. Yeah, to see you take it up to Bike Exchange, and every team. There were lots of teams that were continually working out Plan B and C, and see Plappy up the road was great. To see him get caught wasn't so great, but he's also decided to go as a 20-year-old into the elites and not the 23s. I think that's an awesome. It says a lot about the headspace of an athlete as well.
Exactly.
And Cal, obviously, we all felt for Cal. He was coming around smiling each time. Each time he came around the first 5 laps, 5-6 laps.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was in the car, and every time we'd go up to him, I could just have his big grin on his face and tell us like, mate, I'm fine. Like this is easy. So it was pretty cool. And obviously he'll be disappointed being that close to the win, but I'm sure I think it took Cam Mile like 13 years or something to win his first one, so I'm sure Cal will have a few.
That's right. And when Cam won yesterday, that was everyone felt happy. I mean, the year before was exceptional. It was unbelievable. There's scenes around that, and that's what bike racing does. All sport does. But I think your insight, which you've shared with us today, and the way you just got into detail about Tom, just says a lot about you as a person, because a good coach is someone who understands the athlete. It's not just about putting something up on Training Peaks and say, please do it. You would have had your challenges, Nathan, during lockdown, to have to create the right scenarios and scenes for and the right environment for your athletes. So credit to you. To finish off, because we are on a slight timeline, which is good for both of us. What are you doing work-wise? Because you're making this wonderful transition. You seem to have a lot of support around you. Can you just explain what you're doing from a work point of view?
Yeah, so I did a bit of background. I did my undergraduate in medicine and was pretty committed to being a doctor or doing medicine. But then the head knock that I had from that accident, I've still got a bit of ongoing issues with just bits of my memory and exams and stuff. So I haven't kind of put that off for the time being, and managed to get a job with Make, who are also known as Assemble. So they sponsor Inform TMX Make. They're a property developer, and just got to know Chris Daff, who runs the show from being in a couple of bike races, and was just looking for me to come work just for something to do. So got a pretty good opportunity there to kind of just rotate around each area of the company and see if I like anything long term. So I couldn't really pass that up, and really enjoying it, which is good.
Mate, that's great. That's great. I can't finish without asking a dual Warrny winner who their prediction is for Saturday.
Yes, you put me on the spot there, but I'm going to go with, I've got two. So both these two will have fire in the belly after Nationals. One is the old warhorse, Mark O'Brien. I think this race, he loves a long race, and I think he was telling me the other day he has 2 podiums there, and they came 10 years apart, which is pretty impressive. And he's got a kid on the way, so think he'll be eager to chip off a win. And the other one, I think I'm going to go with Cal O'Brien. He's shown he's in good form, and he'll be very hungry after nationals, I think. And it's a very good race for him. So they're my 2 tips.
Yeah, great tips. I'm very excited myself. Someone like Henry Dietz is riding it, and Plappy as well. And just to see these men that were kids not long ago, move up. I never knew.
It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick a favourite actually. We've got just got Plappy as well for one of our other riders that we in a few.
Yeah, there's plenty. This one, I'm sure no one will hold it against you, mate. But lots of great stories. The battles, the way you've overcome them. Good luck with your own health, and really best of luck with the coaching, because what I see from a distance is someone who's well respected, and you're invested in what you're doing, and it looks like everything you've done in your life, you've had that type of commitment. It's a real credit to you, and I don't know. It's we'd like to say it's a Brunswick person, but I think it's a big credit to your family. I've met your parents before when they, Dad presented at a responsible parenting seminar that Cam McFarlane ran. So that says a lot about your family as well. So, mate, I want to say thank you on behalf of the committee and everyone at Brunswick for what you've done so far in your career, for the time you've taken to speak to us today and your future. So all the best, mate.
No worries. Thank you for the chat.